Hi everyone, it's Lou Collins. Thank you for joining us on the CraftStash YouTube channel. Now, new to CraftStash is the Clangers license product. Fantastic paper crafting items. So we've got ephemera, we've got stamps, we've got dies, but I'm going to create this fun pop-up card with absolutely no dies whatsoever. You can create this from one sheet of A4 cardstock, the entire base. Everything that's decorated is from this collection. So I'll just do a quick run through the new collection. We have got the characters ephemera. There's a lot of pieces in here. We have also got the scenes ephemera, which I've used, as you can see, around my card. We have got some beautiful foiled sentiment stickers, and we have got stamps and dies that you can use and colour in at home. Now, like I say, everything you can see here is found on the CraftStash website. We'll link that down below for you. And if you're a CraftStash VIP member, you will, of course, get your 10% off, double points and priority dispatch. Now, let's get on with the one sheet pop-up box card tutorial. So to create the box or the base of our card, we're going to use one sheet of A4 cardstock. Now, if you're not in the UK and you use letter size cardstock, I'm sure you could adapt the measurements to suit that. So I'm going to take my scoreboard, and I use the Creative Craft Products scoreboard, so it has the bone folder inside, just on the back there, and I'm going to put my sheet of cardstock there lengthways, so long ways across. Now, what we want to do is divide this into even sections. Now, depending on the length of your cardstock, you need 4 even sections, and what's left at the end will be your tab. So because my A4 sheet of cardstock is just over 11.5 inches, I'm going to divide this into 4 even strips of 2 3/4 inches. So that's 2 3/4. 5.5, 8.25, and then 11. This leaves me with a perfectly spaced tab on the end, so I haven't got to trim anything off the length. Next, you want to think about the height of your box, and you can adapt this to whatever height you want to have this. I'm going to make this so that it's around about 3.5 inches tall. So I'm going to score a line across 2 of my tabs there. I'm going to miss one out, and I'm going to then score along the next one. Now, you may find this easier to flip this over and score that line again from the other side, like so. And then if you wish, pop it over and you can see which groove your score line needs to be in at the bottom there. So we've left one panel, and it doesn't matter which of these middle panels it is that's left without a score line through the centre. Now, with a trimmer, I'm going to determine the height of my entire box. That includes this back panel. Now, this can be any height you want. Where you put your score line is where the actual box is going to come to, but you do have that back panel which can go taller. This is 3.5 inches, so I'm going to cut this to around about 3 inches here. So that will be 6.5 inches in total. Pop this at 6.5 inches. So this is the edge that's got the 3.5 inch score lines going down parallel to it. So we measured 3.5 inches from here and cut it at 6.5 inches all the way across. Now, save this piece as well. This is going to come in really handy in a little while. So this is our base. Now all we need to do is a little bit of trimming. So the first thing we're going to do is take this top tab off. Now, when I say top, the bottom piece is the base that we measured at 3.5 inches. So again, put this with the base towards me. That's the top section. Now I want to cut down each of these lines to the score line. Of course, you can do this with a trimmer if you prefer. There we go. And you can fold these panels down 1, 2, 3. Not forgetting we didn't score one of them. We've also got this tab we can fold too. That is the base for our box. As you see, you can turn it round, adhere the tab to the base, and you have got your box shape with the upright at the back. And this is what I mean about making sure this top panel isn't any longer than the base panel. Otherwise these flaps would extend beyond the base, so you wouldn't be able to have them tapped down. So just pop that to the side for a moment, because we're going to take a look at the strip that we've got spare. Now I'm going to cut this into 2 pieces long ways, and it doesn't have to be exact. And what I'm going to do is just cut myself a tab either side of one of the columns we've scored. So giving myself about 1.5 centimeters or so, and Z fold. So I've now got an arm that's going to fit perfectly inside my box when we put it together. And I'm going to do the same on this. So you notice you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 score lines. You could use the tab at the end there. You could just cut just beyond the second score line from that end and cut yourself another tab. Now I've still got the ability to have another tab there and another one from this strip if I wish. So I will pop them to the side, because once I start putting everything together I may decide I want another arm across. Now when it comes to constructing the box, just make sure you've burnished down all your score lines beforehand for a nice neat finish. And I'm just going to tuck my panels down there before gluing, so that I know which is my back panel. And I'm going to glue one of each of these tabs, just a little bit of wet glue, to one of the side panels next to the tall one. And this is going to be around about 1/3 of the way into the panel, like so, and towards the top. It doesn't have to be exactly at the top, but near the top. And then I'm going to do the same with the other one as well. And at this point it also doesn't matter which direction your Z fold is falling in, so these ones are pointing towards the front. So now I'm just going to give those a few moments to dry. Now I've just used a wet wipe to just wipe off the excess glue there. This is all going to be inside, so don't worry about what it looks like, and that will all dry. But if you're more careful than me, you can put a lot less glue on and it won't squelch out. Now once that's dry and not going to transfer to anything, fold your 2 Z fold pieces down to the side, and then fold your entire piece in half. Now we're going to put a little bit of glue on each of the tabs, and again I'm going to do just a little bit this time, not quite as much, and a line of glue down this side too. Now you may have chosen to put your tall back piece on the other middle panel just here, so you'll want to do this the opposite way round. And I'm just going to lay everything down together and fold it in half. Now that is gluing the tab so the box is complete, and also gluing those arms that will work across the box too. Now hold this down flat just for a few moments, allowing the glue to dry, and then when we gently lift it up you'll see you've got 2 arms across. Let's just press that one back in there, make sure that glue stays in there. And then the box is perfectly glued on the edge too. So whichever way you decide to flatten this card, it's now perfectly centered, everything's level. You can flatten it either with those flaps at the side down, or you can put them all up to go into the envelope. It's entirely up to you. Now to start decorating the box, I'm going to use some of the scenes ephemera, which are little postcards. And these are really cool because you can use them full or you can trim them down, as I'm going to. But what's also awesome about this product is you also have the backing. So you could actually use this as your backing card if you wanted to. That would look really fun cut down. And you've got this in a couple of the packs. So I've got 4 cards here. One of them is going to go on the back panel, so I've chosen to have the larger planet, the moon there, on the top, and then I've got 3 more, and these are more sort of caves, a surface of the moon sort of scenes here, so they're going to go down underneath on the sides. Each of these need to be cut down to 2.5 by 2 3/4 to fit on our panels. Obviously, if you chose a different height for your card base, you'll need to work out which measurements you need for your layers. So now my panels are cut down to size, like I say, 2.5 by 2 3/4 inches for this size box. I'm going to glue them on. So I've got, first of all, the moon at the top, just making sure that the outside edge, the border around the edge, is all even. And then I've got them obviously on the surface there. This is going to go at the front. And these products are great for scene building because you've then also got the ephemera that you can add with all the characters, which is here. And this is what I'm going to be doing in a moment. And on the two sides, I'm going to have the more colourful ones. I chose the dark blue, sort of the navy blue cardstock for my card, just to match all of the ephemera, but you could go with any of the colours that are within these pieces. And don't forget, you can fold everything flat to stick things. That makes it a lot easier. So we've got our base so far. Again, like I say, it all folds flat. If you want to fold it flat and have the pieces up like this in the envelope, that will protect everything inside. So now to have a look at making this really interactive and pop up, and that's to add pieces to these two arms that we created in the beginning. Now there's so much here that I can use in the characters ephemera pack, but I'm going to keep it quite small. I'm not going to go too crazy, but I'm going to have one that's just coming out there, and I'm going to trim this down. This ephemera is actually a smaller version of this one, so this is going to fit really nicely. So I'm just going to trim the very edge off, and that should sit nicely on this arm. Then I'm going to have another character just here with the telescope there. I might put something down the bottom here, and then I'm probably going to have something like "Love You to the Moon and Back" just at the top here. Now you can overlap one edge of your exploding box because your box is going to fold, so either way. But you need to determine which edge you're going to fold over or overlap if you are with any of your characters. For example, if I wanted this character with the telescope to overlap this edge a little bit like so, I would need to fold my card this way so it's all encased once it's folded. Now I'm also going to add even more movement to this card by adding in these characters here. They're going to be flying through the air, but I'm going to have this on acetate. So I'm going to cut myself a thin, small strip of acetate. This is actually a really strong acetate. You can have different thicknesses of this or different weights, and you want to go for the strongest one possible so that it holds itself upwards. And for this, I'm going to use double-sided tape rather than a wet glue. Just attach the acetate strip to the back of the ephemera. And then the bottom of the ephemera is going to sit just about here. So again, make sure when your piece is closed that nothing is going to overlap. So I'm going to ensure that sits about there. I'm going to put my tape on, and again I'm going to hold that in there, make sure that sticks in the right place. And the beauty of these exploding boxes is you can really cram it full of ephemera if you wish, or you can have it quite plain. Either way, it's going to have quite a dramatic effect. So popping that just in where I'd like it. So it's going to stick to the bottom of one of the strips. It's going to come out as far as and as high as I'm able to get it. Press that down, and then that one is there like so, just flying through the air. I've actually changed my mind, and I've decided to bring this one here just to the front, and this ephemera piece is going to go on the back instead. So that's looking up at the moon like so. That's much better. Lastly, my sentiment. I was going to stick my sentiment to the back panel, but I've decided to have it kind of floating around a little bit more. It's still going to be at the top there, but I'm going to have it just there, like so, on a strip of acetate again. So there is our pop-up card. Let's close it all up. As you can see, that will go into an envelope. You can use the Creative Craft Products school board to create yourself an envelope using the envelope guide at the back there. And of course, you can also decorate all the other panels if you wish as well. But when the recipient receives it and opens it up, everything pops out and you have a really fun 3D interactive card that you haven't had to use any dies for. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel just here. And we think you'll also probably like this video just here. Take care, everybody. I'll see you again very soon.